will be chapter 2. Chapter 2. Okay, now first turn to chapter 2 of your textbook. You can see this cover. Okay, now look at the headings of chapter 2. This word, we call it molecules. Molecules. Now, all the substances on earth are made of molecules. Molecules is almost the smallest unit of substance that make up the things surrounding you. Okay, for example, now if I ask you questions, you can type your answer in the chat box, okay? Now, for example, please type the answer on chat box if you know what is H2O. What is the exact name of H2O? Forgot? Okay. Tell you another one. What is CO2? Please type the name. Oh, I saw many answers already. Okay. H2O means, thank you, water. Then I'm sure you know what CO2 is. CO2 is carbon, okay, dioxide, carbon dioxide. Okay, thank you. Now, molecules are the smallest unit in the things surrounding you. Just for example, I put a glass of water in front of you. Then water is made of water molecules, okay? There are trillions and trillions of water molecules grouping together form the water, the liquid before you, okay? The next one, the life. We have life, okay? If we don't have life, that means we die already, okay? Life. Another meaning of life, another word representing life is bio. Bio. So I go to the name of these subjects. The name of these subjects. You are now studying biology, okay? So bio means life. We are living, okay? Logy means study of. Okay, these subjects, biologists, is the study of life. Okay, study of life. Next, no need to say so many things. I know that you understand. So we directly go to the content. Turn to page 3 of your textbook. Page 3. You can see this page. Okay. Now, please note that biology is a subject that contains huge amount of vocabulary. Some of them actually has the same meaning, but they will be presented in different ways. Okay. Now, for example, here is one word. Chemical, look at the heading, 2.1. This word, constituents. It is read as constituents. Now, constituents get similar meaning as component. Similar. If you still don't know what component is, then you know what substance is? They all have similar meanings. Okay? So please bear that in mind. Whenever I ask you chemical component or chemical constituents or substance, they all have similar answers. Okay, now there are many chemicals in the bodies. Chemicals. For example, Now, CO2 is a chemical. H2O is also a chemical. They are molecules. Okay, maybe I also quote the gas content you have learned, okay? In the air, there are carbon dioxide, water vapor, oxygen gas. Let me check your memory. There should be one more gas that is in largest amount in the air. What is the name of this gas? About 78% of this gas in the air. Thank you. Nitrogen, okay? The formula is N2, N2. So I just take out, now there is C, okay, from carbon dioxide. And also O from carbon dioxide. Now in water, there is H, that is hydrogen, okay? O already mentions. And the last one, nitrogen gas, N. Actually, COHNs are present almost everywhere inside your bodies. Almost everywhere inside your bodies. And we call them elements. Elements, the basic units of molecules. So I can say inside a water molecule, that means H2O, there are two elements that are H and O. Can you get it? Okay, actually, you will learn all this. What molecules, elements, constituents, components, and so on. And you will learn it in another subject called chemistry. Chemistry. Okay, for biology, you just know the name of it. You know what they are. So highlight it on your textbook first. The heading, the chemical constituents of organisms. Now we are organisms, okay? The four major elements commonly found in organisms are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. If you like, you can write the symbol of them on your textbook. Please, capital letter, okay? Don't write small letter. C-H-O-N-N. Now, these are elements. Now, different elements build up different molecules. If the molecules are found in living things, that means life. Here, can you see bio? Bio means life, okay? Now, if these molecules are found in the bodies, they are biomolecules. We call them organic substances. Now you can see the word substance. I use the green highlighter. Okay, substance, constituents, component, they got similar meaning. Okay, organic. The opposite of organic is the next one, inorganic. They are organic substance, inorganic substances. Okay, you may wonder, Miss Lam, water can also be found in our body. Okay, we have life. How come we don't say that water is biomolecules? Okay, now I tell you the answers. Jot down this on your textbook. We call them organic because it contains carbon. If there is a carbon element, the element called carbon in the molecules, then we call them organics. So on the contrary, it does not contain carbon. I have just write the letter carbon. Then they are inorganic. Inorganic. Now you should, I assure you know this one. You can also write this on your textbook. See, water. there is no carbon, right? So we call them inorganic substance. Inorganics. I can also write you examples of minerals. Na+, they are minerals. Later, you will learn all this in your chemistry. Now, the textbook will show different content in different ways. For example, excuse me. For example, this one. Now, let's read together the paragraph beneath it. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. They are all here. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Okay? Now go back to the paragraph. Are the major organic substances important to life? Organic is here. Life is here. Okay? And they are called biomolecules. Biomolecules is here. Can you sense it? They are changing the flow chart into paragraph. Okay, so if you understand what this part means, then you can just read this one. So similarly, I would like you also highlight this part. The next paragraph, water and minerals are examples of inorganic substances commonly found in organisms. Exactly at the above. Water, minerals, inorganic substances, right? Actually, these 6 substances build up your bodies. So which one build up the largest part in your bodies? So you can look at the pie chart below. Water, okay? And then next will be proteins. What is protein in Chinese? Now you can read yourself in the bottoms. There are Chinese translations. 蛋白質啊, okay? So water is 水, you should know this. Okay, the next one. Lipid is this one, 脂質. There is fat or oil. And then the next one will be minerals. 礦物質, carbohydrates, and so on. Now, the Chinese meanings you read yourself, okay? For the English word, please study hard, make them, you spell them correctly. Now, this one is the introductions of the chemical constituents in your bodies or chemical substances in your bodies. Okay, and then the next one. You have to learn all these one by one in details. So we start with the one in the biggest proportions, that is water. Okay, turn to page 4. Water. Highlight the heading. We are going to discuss the waters. Now you need to know the chemical formula. In the small table next to it, can you see H2O? You can highlight it. Okay, for the next part, like this one and this one, I will leave it to chemistry teacher, so don't highlight it. Don't highlight it. And then as the one shown on page 3, water, there are about 65% of water in your body. 65%. So we will use this way to present it. It is the major one, the largest part, component of cells, blood, the blood flowing in your bodies, and other body fluid. I would like to know how far you know about your bodies. Try to type one example of body fluid. Okay, don't say the blood again. There is blood. Tell me one more example of body fluid in your body. You can type it in your chat box. Other than blood, what other fluid can be found in your body? maybe you don't know the Chinese name, right? So I ask some of you to tell me directly. I saw one answer. Okay. Oh, so some know a difficult term. Okay, now I tell one from another thing. Sweat. So some tell us cerebral spinal fluid. You can read the checkbox. Wow, this one is quite difficult. You can learn it in your Form 5. Okay. Sweat is a fluid in the bodies. Okay. Now, there are many fluid in your bodies, the blood, sweat, and also in your mouth. Saliva. Okay. The fluid in your mouth is called saliva. Okay. Now, there are many of water. So water is very important. And you have to know functions of waters. So if you read page 4 and 5, you know that there are 5 main functions of water. So let's go through them one by one. Number 1. And before I forgot, after going through all these 5 functions, I will give you a quiz today. Okay, so please pay attention to the lessons and then get ready with paper. Later, you have to submit the answer of the quiz to the Google Classroom. Now I move on. The first one. Water is a good solvent. It's a good solvent. Solvent. What is solvent? I have to call the blackboard. Solvent is usually a liquid. Okay, I draw you a beaker. Okay, the textbook function number 1 say that water is a solvent. That means it can dissolve something. Now, tell me one example of substance A that can dissolve in water. Or turn it into adjective. Soluble in water. Tell me one example of A. And I call your name and then you answer me. Okay. Cha Hin. Number 11.
Hi.
Yes. Tell me one example of A that is soluble in water.
Sugar.
Sugar, thank you. Correct. Yeah. I hate this box very much. Oh my God. Really hate this one. Waste my time. How can I? Forget it. Soluble. His answer is sugar. Okay, then I will say sugar is the solute. Okay, you have learned this in your Form 1. Okay, mark it. So next time if I ask you what solute can be found in your bodies, please write sugar. And actually there's more. For example, salt is also a sugar. Is also a solute. Then the role of water is a solvent. There are many things that are soluble in water. Other than sugar, salt, oxygen, carbon dioxide are also soluble in water. So this one is very important. Being a very good solvent, we can carry them, we can transport all this to every part, to many parts of the bodies. And also, it's also a medium. It's a place for reactions. Okay. You should have learned it in your Form 2. Chemical reaction. For example, photosynthesis. Now I'm going to show you the word equation of photosynthesis. Okay, what equation of photosynthesis? First of all, there is carbon dioxide and water. Girls, I want all the girls, please write one thing that can be found on this side. Just write one. All the girls. From number 19 to number 34. Write it in the chat box. In photosynthesis, what are formed? There are two. You just write one of them. Great, I saw many. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now, they are glucose and oxygen. Thank you. Glucose is the name of the food you learn in the Form 2. Okay, they are glucose. And can you see water is there? Water take part in the reactions. Take part in the reactions. You just imagine, if there is no water, no glucose can be formed, no oxygen can be produced. So water is very important. And then in this way, water is the reactant. Actually, both of them are reactant. It takes part into the reactions. So we call them reactants. So water is important, okay? And also refer to the one we just mentioned. I used the pink one. Carbon dioxide, soluble in water. Glucose, oxygen, also soluble in water. So in this way, water, other than being the reactants, it also provides a medium for chemical reaction, okay? Medium for chemical reactions. Without water, carbon dioxide cannot be dissolved. That means the reaction cannot go on, okay? Next, as I just mentioned, there are many difficult terms in biology, but you study hard, then they are not difficult, okay? Chemical reactions, hope you understand what they are, okay? For example, photosynthesis. There is another term, get the same meanings as chemical reactions. Metabolic reaction. Metabolic reactions. They have the same meanings. So next time, I ask you to give me one example of metabolic reactions. Just answer this one, photosynthesis, okay? Now, photosynthesis takes place in plants. If I ask you to give me one example of metabolic reactions in human, now I tell you. Another example, that is digestion of food. Now the food you take into your bodies, okay, the sandwich or the noodles, okay, the pork chop and so on, they're so large, you have to break down into small pieces. The process is called digestion. You have to break down into small pieces. And actually the name of this reaction, exact name of this reaction is called hydrolysis. Hydrolysis. Hydro means water. Lysis means break down. You use water to break down something. Now you break down the food, okay? Well, since that there are many contents, okay, let's highlight the book. Highlight the book first. Seems that there are many content. Now, get a highlighter. Point number one. Now, many substances dissolve in water. They are soluble in water. So that's good. It means water, okay? is the medium in which chemical reaction takes place. Okay, it also acts as a good transport mediums. It dissolves the salts, the sugar, CO2, oxygen, and so on. You can carry it around your bodies for transport, okay? So for the next one, for interest, you can read. Okay, you are just Form 3. I'm not going to teach so much details, okay? If you choose biology in your Form 4s, I will teach you again. So this is point number 1. Now go to point number 2. Point number 2. Now water is a reactant. Example, photosynthesis. Okay, I just show you the word equations of photosynthesis, right? So you just know the example. Now in human, digestions of food, in the digestions of food, the reaction is called hydrolysis. Hydrolysis. As I just mentioned, chemical reaction here, exactly same meaning as metabolic reactions. I also highlight the heading in some metabolic reactions. Now these two terms has the same meaning. So if I ask you example of metabolic reactions, here are two. Number 1, hydrolysis. Number 2, photosynthesis. Okay, these two are metabolic reactions or chemical reactions. Okay, now next one, I will not go to the blackboard directly. On your textbook, get the wet pen first. Now we are going to point number 3. Point number 3. Now water is important as a cooling agent. When you feel hot, water can cool down your body. So normally, imagine you don't have air conditioner, you don't have fan, okay, you feel very hot, your body will produce sweat, the salty liquid form on the skin, okay? When they evaporate, when sweat evaporates, it takes away some heat from the skin. Now I can tell you the meanings of evaporate. Drop the note here. Now evaporation means you turn something from liquid state into gas state. That is evaporation. You learn it in your Form 1. And during the process, you have to absorb heat. Okay, that is evaporate. When the liquid absorbs the heat, it turns into gas form. So if the liquid is sweat, it turns to water vapor. Okay, the gas is called water vapors. Takes away the heat. This helps to cool down your bodies. Okay, so we call them cooling agents. So highlight the heading. Water takes away the heat when it evaporates. Okay, so evaporate is this one. Liquid turn into gas. Now this is example in human. How about the plant? The plant is so poor. Okay, it stay under the sun for the whole day. They cannot move away, even though today is very hot. Okay, 35 degrees C, they just stay under the sun. Okay, don't worry, they have their method. Transpirations. Add these notes in plants. They also carry heat away in plant by transpirations. So this help plant from preventing them from overheating. So we sweat a lot. The plant also carry out transpirations. Okay? Next. Boys. This time your turn to type the answers on the chat box, boys. The girls, even you know, then you can bear it in your minds. I want to know in human, what is the normal body temperature? Boys, please type it in your chat box. Okay, thank you. Now, some of you, most of the boys show me that it is 37 degrees C, correct? Okay, some tell me 36.5 degrees C. Okay, one of you tell me that it is 36. Okay, I tell you the normal body temperature. The normal one is 37. This is the normal. That means if I extend it, it is 36.5 to 37.5. That is okay. So our body temperatures change a little bit. So for example, you are now staying in your room, you turn on the air conditioner, you feel cool, then your temperature may be 36.5, okay. Now you are having PE lessons. You do a lot of sports, okay, it's very hot now. Your body temperature increase a little bit. Actually, no matter where you are on Earth, okay, even though you are now in desert, okay, the temperature now is 45 degrees C. Your temperature is also this one. You are now in North Pole, okay, minus 20 degrees C, so cold. Your temperature is also this one. How come you won't change a lot? It's because, go to page 5, point number 4. Temperature is water is a temperature buffer. Buffer is something help stabilize a theta. Did I spell something wrong? Okay. Suddenly I don't know how to spell the word. Stabilize, L-I-Z-E. Oh, I guess I have spelled it wrongly. Stabilize. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, 穩定啊, stabilize the theta. Now, if the theta is temperature, then water is a temperature buffer. So, with so much water in the bodies, about 2/3 of your body is made of water. This is important so that our body temperature remains fairly stable around 37 degrees C, okay? Even though there is a quick change or small change in temperature. You stay in the desert, 45 degrees C, no problem, okay? In the North Pole, minus 20 degrees C, doesn't matter. There is a water as a buffer, okay? So some of you may think, why we have to maintain our body temperature? Why we have to make our body temperature stable? And in the second term of your Form 3, you will know the answers. Okay, the last functions, very short. Okay, first I want to jump to the picture first, But this is the last function of water. Now look at this earthworm, figure 2.5. Seems so juicy, okay? The whole bodies of earthworm seems made of liquid. Now, they are very important. Water gives support to the bodies. Now, unlike us, we have our skeleton to give support, okay? I draw you our skeletons, okay? We have our backbones, our rib, our arm, lower arm, okay, our fingers and so on, okay, girdles, your leg. Now we have our skeleton to give us support. However, in the plant or in animal like this one, earthworm, they don't have skeletons. They don't have skeletons. They need water for support. Okay, and also some young plant, we call them young seedling. You look at figure 2.6. They can stand up because there is water. Imagine you don't give it water for 2 days or longer, the plant fall down, okay, like this. Okay, they cannot stand up. So that is the importance of waters. But once again, you are just Form 3. I want you to highlight this one only. Water provides support. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. For this, for interest, you can read. Okay. For interest, you can also read. Okay, now we have 15 minutes left. Get ready with your paper and your pen. I'm going to give you the quiz. Please, I just want 1 page of your quiz. Don't spread your answer far away, okay? So this is the paper. You write your name, okay? Today is 9th of September and so on. Number 1, number 2, and so on. And then for the last question, question number 6, fill in the blank. Okay, A, B. So try to compress your answer on half page of a T paper. You get it? Only half page. Okay, now we can start the quiz. You can open your book. Open your book. There are 6 questions. Do it now.